Now, good morning. It's Friday, the 6th of December. It is 19 days till Christmas. I am Jay Cleveland Payne giving you uh, conversation. So we're having a good conversation together on stories. How they get there, we will explain them in a bit when we get to our teaser section. The teasing of story for Monday. It's 7 days a week, 5 days a week. These stories cover topics including information, politics, current events, and pop culture news. So all the topics, all the news, it's there. So it's a nice big wash to get your day started, or if you watch it in the middle of the day, whatever happens. We do this live at 5:30 a.m. Central Time, Monday through Friday, and we're giving you a good start to your day, or a average middle to your day, I guess. You can go to our website, this is a conversationproject.com, and see more about what we do and how we do it. And of course, email us at your convenience at the conversation inbox.com. I've already said it, but I'll say it one more time. It's Friday, December 6th, 2024. No particular order as these stories being presented. We'll give you some context and how they got to be where they are in the list and how they got to be here today and others that did not make it along the way. And the full explanation of how stories are conversational, made by you, will be explained at the end of the headlines. We get to the transition to the teaser story, if you will. So let's get into the headlines, get into the stories, get into the news that is ready to go for this morning. Starting out with um, strange news, not so much bad news, but the strange news that's going on. That is the continuing story of the United Healthcare CEO shooting in New York City. This is an updated article we have here, and even more updates happened as I was looking this morning. So it's been a bit, but healthcare shooting, the man who did the assassination, actually arrived in New York City on a Greyhound bus about 10 days ago from Atlanta. The investigators found that the shooting victim, of course, Brian Thompson, the CEO of United Health, this assailant actually has been here for a while, essentially casing the joint and getting ready for what was known as a planned event. Obviously, he was speaking at this event and it was for months, so it was a big easy to get there. Now, a lot of the things are unclear about how he got here. The bus route began in Atlanta, so he got on in Atlanta. No, we believe he got on in Atlanta. No actually evidence of where he actually got on. So back in the old days, we used to see people standing on the side of the road getting on a bus. He got on anywhere, but the bus originated in Atlanta about 10 days ago. He stayed in a hostel in Manhattan and used a fake New Jersey driver's license, paid in cash. None of that stuff is really things that catch a case. But he was always covered up. The picture we showed at Starbucks, he had the thing over his face at the time. Uh, One person at the hospital asked him to smile. He dropped down. He smiled. So now we have a picture, if you're watching the video, of his more of his face. You still have stuff, his head, his hair, anything. You have more of his features, his mouth, his nose that are not covered up, not obscured. And so that's more to look for this man out there in the land. He also did something that was extremely interesting in the case. Everybody said, they're going back for between whether he's a professional or an amateur. He's somewhere between there. So everyone talk about the use of the silencer. He should have used it in testing before. Apparently, the silencer was new, so that's why there was some jammed bullets. And bullets had writing on them that had some of the derogatory terms that you hear insurance agents talk about when they are basically denying people's claims. So the shell casings had that. So we took the time to write that on the shell casings, which is another identifier. It does not sound like a professional to me. It sounds like a message being sent. This is crazy. This whole right now it's 48 hours since it happened in a sense, and they can't seem to find more clues there. And we have plenty of faith in law enforcement to find more clues, find more things, and find this person. Some things don't ever get resolved, unfortunately. This is one that looks like it may be resolved, maybe not as quickly as we want to, but once we identify the man, identify the person, he's been ID, so we have to go with that one. We shall see if we can get some sort of justice. And we'll see more story behind the CEO because essentially, more stories here about Brian Thompson going through separation, divorce, so looking separately from his wife, and there might be some issues that he was facing with the company involving some financial issues and other things. So maybe Thompson had some deep dark secrets going on. Maybe this is not some sort of personal vendetta. Maybe this guy is not just a guy who didn't get the right health care and he's lashing out. The story at number two this morning is a headline that was a kind of a shocker when I saw it. I was busy yesterday working some other events, so I had to catch up as I could. This one was originally stated as a tsunami warning that was released, and it was released. But the headline, we went with something that made more sense in the knowledge. 7.0 earthquake off Northern California prompts brief tsunami warning. So yesterday night, about 10:44 in the morning, this morning, I should say, a 7.0 earthquake struck off the coast of Northern California around Cape Mendocino, 45 miles southwest of Eureka. This quake's epicenter was located in a semi-central active region where three tectonic plates converged, known as the Mendocino Triple Junction. Sorry for the bad read on that one. But the tremor prompted the National Service to offer a tsunami warning for Northern California and Oregon. Did not happen, so that was there. They closed all major attractions, including the San Francisco Zoo at the time. So Humboldt County, where most of the actual was found, 10,000 customers experienced power outages and minor structural damages reported, items falling off shelves, things like that. No serious structural damage as far as we know, and no lives were lost in this event. State of emergency for Del Norte, Humboldt, and Mendocino counties. So state of emergency. President Biden was briefed the situation. Nothing further than that one. You see in the picture, that's a shopping center where things fell off the shelves. Nothing seriously fell down during this earthquake, but as people have said, the 7.0 was probably the strongest earthquake that's been seen in this area for California. That is what they're seeing this one. And of course, they put out the tsunami warning very quickly. Fortunately, it was not needed and was removed in about an hour. The Hannah Kobayashi story gets more and more and more interesting or odd based on your situation of seeing it. The headline at number three, more things we found out yesterday. The family is investigating a possibility that she was part of an immigration marriage scheme. The family of the photographer, Hannah Kobayashi, is investigating claims that she may have been involved in a fraudulent marriage scheme prior to disappearance. Suspicion arose after her mother discovered immigration documents at Kobayashi's Hawaii residence, suggesting a possible marriage to an Argentinian man named Alan Kakase. These documents have been handed to the FBI and Los Angeles police office for the investigation. Of course, despite the findings, the family has not publicly confirmed the authenticity of the agreement, whether they are real or not. And their attorney, Sarah Azari, has emphasized that they're exploring all leads, but are looking to basically find Hannah and find her alive, they hope. Reported missing on November 11th after traveling to Maui to from Maui to Los Angeles and failing to board her protected flight to New York City. They found through some infidelity video that she actually went to Mexico by herself on the 12th. So police basically said she's a missing person. She's on her own, doing her own thing. So they stopped looking for anything that evidence of foul play because she's in Mexico. Now the situation is dire because her father Ryan came to the state to look for her and died by suicide near the airport. And of course, the family just wants answers because this story needs answers. At number four this morning, the father of victim in New York City subway chokehold case sues defendant Daniel Penny. I keep saying it's Penny. So, happening a few days ago, Andre Zachary, father of Jordan Neely, actually filed a civil lawsuit against Daniel Penny, who was a former Marine charged with Neely's death. The suit submitted in New York Supreme Court alleges that Penny's negligence, carelessness, and recklessness, that is a quote from the suit, led to Neely's death on May the 1st, 2023. The legal action resides with the jury's deliberations right now in a criminal trial where he faces charges of second-degree manslaughter and criminally negligent homicide. If convicted here, he'll face 50 years in prison. The other case, is a whole other deal. The attorney for Penny criticized the timing of this lawsuit, suggesting it serves as a distraction from ongoing criminal proceedings. They're basically putting more weight on the one case just because. This has been a big firestorm of events that talk about public safety, racial relations, homelessness, mental health, and the public closely monitoring both criminal and the newly filed civil trial because of two suits back and forth. So keeping out with both of them is kind of a big deal, kind of an issue. Let's take a quick pause from the news. Eight or four stories down from the eight, four more to go. We want to take the time to thank you for hanging out with us on this Friday edition and all week long this week. We come back with full force with some new, fresh, brand new ideas after taking a week off from Thanksgiving. Hopefully, you're enjoying them. If you are, show us how you are by liking the video so that I know you're enjoying them. algorithm knows you enjoy them, and people who get fed this in the algorithm can actually see this as a potentially good story, good headline, good video, and can watch it. We'll also ask you to share it as well. Share it with folks you know who enjoy news of this caliber. I say caliber. It's been the best read today, but the news we're doing is a smattering of all sorts of genres, all sorts of pieces, things that don't get locked down because there's only so much heads that you can talk about today. Yes, we talked about the attacker in New York a lot, but we had a lot of other things happening as you're seeing. So hopefully you're getting more news from this presentation. And if you're not subscribed, the moment someone shares it with you or you saw it in an algorithm like, subscribe so you don't miss out on these events. Both this channel is based on giving you news and commentary and ideas to talk about, a conversation, if you will. And this involves us giving you news stories that you choose to talk about. We'll talk about how that happens when we get to the teaser part for stories here. But we need to be a part of the show, be part of the family. And if you're on YouTube, join a membership, buy some merch, do some things to help us go through. Like, share, and subscribe to keep things viable here for the Conversation Project. Back to news. Back to California, back to Shohei Ohtani, who actually signed a big old contract, a 700 million 10-year contract with the Dodgers. And the oddity about this thing is, you search for the story and you see it online. All pictures of him dressed in Angels gear because he was an Angel. Now he's a Dodger, and he got a new historic 10-year contract for $700 million with the Los Angeles Dodgers, the largest deal in professional sports history. They keep sort of breaking them, but it happens. This deal will refer 680 million of this amount, receiving 68 million annually for 2000 from 2004 through 2043. More or less a bot meal. He's going to get money forever. The deferral strategy proposed by Otani himself aims to provide the Dodgers with immediate financial flexibility to acquire additional talent and maintain rosters. We shall see on this. Of course, his first season he played as a designated hitter due to a injury, so he couldn't pitch. So he had 50 home runs, 50 stolen bases in a single season. First that, 55 home runs to 59 stolen bases total, 130 RBIs, 3.10 batting average. That's Hall of Fame level right there. And of course, they, being the Dodgers, defeated the Yankees in the World Series. First time they did that since 2020. Um, and that happened in 5 games. Um, you may think this is a genius play, and it is. It's a genius play for the Dodgers and for Otoni, who is a great player, deserves all the money all the time. But it's all guaranteed. It's happening. It's happening for basically forever. Congratulations on the contract. Congratulations to the Dodgers again. Congratulations to all of us. Being such a fine, nice baseball player, and hopefully he gets his pieces back from his advisor, his interpreter, stealing from. Not going to say the speaking of. I just said that. But let's talk about Donald Trump. The next couple stories are Trump-ish. This one deals with Trump specifically. The next one is Trump in a grander scheme, talking about all the beautiful tariffs. This one is not so much on tariffs. This is basically trying to stop the eventual sale. Looks like it's going to happen eventually of U.S. Steel to Nippon as Trump doubles down on the vow to block this deal, making U.S. Steel strong and great again. His words. The president-elect has reaffirmed his commitment to block the sale of U.S. Steel to Nippon Steel for 104, sorry, $14.9 billion, emphasizing the importance of maintaining domestic ownership of the iconic American company. He plans to implement tax incentives and tariffs to strengthen U.S. Steel and ensure their independence. The acquisition was announced in 2023, December, of course, and faced bipartisan opposition due to concerns of national security and potential impact on American workers. Now, national security is one thing to say. We had this big thing back in the 80s. You may not remember it if you're a millennial, where Japanese people were coming into the States, buying up a lot of property in the United States. Now we freak out because it's Chinese and Russians. But at the time, Japan, which was an ally, which was a rival in business, but an ally itself. A lot of Japanese folk were coming in and buying property, and people were freaking out about it. This is the same thing, national security. If all these properties are owned by other entities, what happens when they actually, decide to kick people out because they're not paying right rent? Or use these things like the Chinese and possibly nefarious places, make farms and build them into factories and listening stations. We don't know. We really don't know because we do the same things. So to keep that from happening, The sale of US Steel, which would be a real big asset we would lose and money we would lose big time, is basically being blocked, and Donald Trump says he's gonna do what he can to keep the block in place. Now, specific word on tariffs coming from Dollar Tree as they are gonna stop selling some items and some products because of the Trump's proposed tariffs. We're gonna adjust some prices and discontinue some items because they buy cheap stuff from China. They buy cheap stuff from Canada, they buy cheap stuff from Mexico, and a universal 10 to 20% tax imports is going to basically add to their prices. There's already steep tariffs on what they bring in, and Dollar Tree is about 43% of their import in the merchandise is imported, which is why it's kind of cheapish, and it's coming from places like China, and those tariffs would actually significant cost impact their cost. The interim CEO Michael Credon stated the company has strategies to mitigate these effects. They're going to alter some product specifications and source all countries. They're going to remove some items that become too costly. But if you go to a dollar store today, you'll notice the dollar stores, Dollar Trees, Family Dollars, price is already up. There are many things at the dollar stores that are already $1.15, $1.20, $1.52. So raising more prices for dollar stores is not the way the dollar stores want to go. Dollar Tree, this one in particular, says they've got a plan. That means less inventory, which is not good for anyone going to these stores. And finally, this is our teaser story from yesterday. We'll explain what teaser story meant. This is a story we hyped up and you guys made it deliver. It was not a massive over success, but it was one that was within range of being conversational. So we are talking it up. Miller High Life to release bar fume that smells exactly like a dive bar. That is the High Life, and they're introducing what they're calling Dive Bar Fume, the limited edition cologne designed to evoke the distinct aromas of classic dive bars. The fragrance combines notes of cedarwood and patchouli to mimic the scent of well-worn bar tops, tobacco, and leather to represent aged bar stools, champagne blossom to capture the essence of the freshly opened Miller High Life beer, and sea salt to suggest the aroma of bar snacks like fries and $60 a bottle. Dive Parfume was released a few days ago, just in time for the holiday season. So if you know that guy who wants that quirky gift or might actually wear this stuff, limited edition buy. So if they're going to wear it, they're going to use it pretty quickly. But the nostalgia sense of a bar, because maybe it's someone who's out bar themselves or actually upgraded from the High Life, will be there for you to purchase. Broader part of the market for beer range themes holiday offerings, which happen every single year. Things for your stocking stuffing or retreat ornaments. With the launch of Dive Bar Fume has launched humorous, nostalgic reactions on social media with users reminiscing about their own dive bar experiences. I'm not sure if it smells like a West End town, but you get the notes, the high notes in this cologne that is coming out right now if you want it. And if you go looking for a good gift for me at the Conversation Project and More Better Media, this is not what I want. Buy some products from my website. Let's move into our teaser story. And the teaser story is basically our transition time out of the time to talk about the headlines, 8 headlines delivered to you that were conversation, and to talk about stories we can talk about later. And in the video that you see the picture of Hoda is great, but she's not the headline for the actual teaser story. The teaser story that we can bring up on Monday, because we don't do this show for 2 more days, is McDonald's snack wrap is coming back next year. Now, McDonald's has sneakily brought up McRib in many locations. They are bringing back, keeping on the dollar menu because it's keeping people in the stores. And they're going to not bring back the chicken selects quite, but they are going to bring more chicken to their menu because chicken is outpacing beef or underpacing it in price, so outpacing it in stores being sold. And snack wrap is coming back based off a lot of other people, including Burger King, who dropped out their chicken wrap sandwich is doing very well to eat. So it's coming back next year. Are we chatting this one up? You just have to go to the story and engage in it and tell me what you're talking about. You go to our feeds, which are on Facebook, X, and Threads. Facebook.com/This Conversation Project, X.com/TH_conversation, and threads.net/at This is Conversation. What we do on those websites for our links, for our profiles on those social media sites, is we post these articles about every 50 minutes or so that we want you to engage in. You tell us what stories are conversational, by engaging within them over the time, over the day, and in this case, today, tomorrow, Sunday, and it'll be to Monday. And we'll give you on Monday 10 stories that you said were really engaging. We get those 10 stories from about 30 stories picked over 90 stories we get over the weekend. So we got a lot of work to do, and this one has a lot of work to last Monday. Are you loving the snack wrap coming back? You let us know by chatting it up and putting it in conversation, clicking on the link to read it, clicking on emoji faces, engage with it, sharing with other folks because y'all want to be there and the door opens when snack wraps are there. Engage in the stories you want to see, and we will give you there. All the stories you had today were engaged fairly well. Our fume story was engaged okay in its numbers, but it was in the top 15 of the stories we looked at. So we put that in there because it was quirky. The story on Kobayashi, the story on Tommy, story on Penny were very, very highly regarded. And of course, the headline, which all were basically keeping up with the one that was, no pun intended, basically blasted about the water, was a story on the murderer of the CEO of United Health and how the pictures or actually the new clues came out. A picture of something came out new later in the day. So we use that headline to go forward. You make us better, and you give us the rundown. So help us make a rundown for the weekend for the Monday morning show coming forward. It also helps for the weekend show, which we'll talk about in a moment. Let's go on to our sponsor for the day very quickly because we have to ask for more things today. A lot of calls to action on the day. Our sponsor for today is Ground News. Use Ground News for our headline sponsor all week because they deserve a lot of love going forward in this season of giving, and the giving is of sometimes not great news coverage. So we want you to give yourself the gift of great news coverage by going to Ground News and paying for their Vantage plan. We have half off their Vantage plan right now for the entire year. Use our link at this is a conversationproject.com/ground news. This is a conversationproject.com/ground news. What you get from Ground News is real perspective on all the news out there. Any news article, whether it's local, whether it's national, whether it's international, you can probably see it being where it's being aggregated from Ground News, and they'll tell you where it's being covered, what news articles are being headlined where, which ones get more right slant, which ones get more left slant, which ones get more down the center slants. And the blind spot feature, which is the coolest thing about this, is if you follow a silo of news that's more left or right, you'll find that the stories you're missing. They will point them out to you. They'll find out what stories are being covered exclusively by right-leaning sources and what stories are covered exclusively by left-leaning sources. So you'll find out what the other side is talking about and what your side doesn't really think is important or just doesn't want you to know. Check out Ground News. We use it to check off news most of the time here for just kind of how it's valid. Sometimes we'll look for a story that we see in other aggregators and find a headline that we like because it's kind of cheeky, and an article we like because it actually gives details, and swap them off and see how they work out. So sometimes you get a Fox headline on a CNN report or a Newsmax report that has an MSNBC headline because we sure cheeky like that. You help us. We use this as help, and you can help us more and get more of your news nerdy down by checking out the Conversation Project's affiliate link for this one. All our sponsors are affiliate links, so you can use them, buy them. We get a small commission. This one happens to be this is conversationproject.com/ground news. Let's talk about us. Let's talk about the Conversation Project and some of the many, many calls to action that are there as well. What you're going to get from Conversation Project is more fun stuff, more stuff like this, news and information and things that will get your thinking, and hopefully you will engage with us in conversations. That's why it's a Conversation Project. You can follow us at our website. This is a conversationproject.com where there's many, many super duper all over the place calls to actions to get into. So there's that. There you can find our sponsorships page and find our sponsors. Our partnerships page we'll talk about in a moment and become a partner. You can find links to past episodes, all the places we're on the internet. So if this place you're watching right now is not the great place, you want to get shorts, check out TikTok. You can find links to TikTok. If you like the audio, check out those to our audio spots. We're on basically all your podcatchers there. And of course, our email news. Because just in case YouTube knocks us off the air, we can reach out to you via directly or emails. We also ask you to do a couple extra things a day as we're running really on time. We have enabled a lot of cool things on our YouTube page. So if you're watching this on YouTube, YouTube is basically our standard, our measuring stick. We've opened up memberships, so you can join memberships there, just like you join memberships as partnerships there. There's various tiers there that are similar to what we have at the partnerships on there. Also buy merch and do stickers and super chats, things like that. Let's talk about the partners very quickly. Partners are the ride or dies we've had for um, months here at the Conversation Project, and we always highlight them come Friday. Cup of coffee levels are people who pay $5 a month to hang out with us and do stuff with us and help us. Harold Braxton, Kobe Green, Eldon Kidd in that level. And spare change, it's just $1 a month, but the dollar does make a difference. Joy Winters listed that right there. We can use more partners. We can use more members in YouTube. We've got to figure out how that all works. But we need more people to help us engage back and forth in the background and help us provide more things in the foreground. We ask for financial help because all the creators ask for financial help, and this is one way to help us out directly. If you like what you're seeing and want to help us out do it, please. If you think I look like that homeless guy that you see on the street and you don't want to give him $1, well, give me $1 and I'll look less like the homeless guy. There's a comment that came in the comments the other day. So, but as they say, comments more about what you are and not what I am. So, like water, rubber, glue, all that good stuff. Thank you so much for the partners we've had for the past couple of months who've given what they can. Thank you for people who've given us one-shot donations. There's ways to do that via Venmo and via Cash App as well. Also via Buy Me a Coffee as well. The Buy Me a Coffee platform allows us to set subscriptions up along with YouTube. So if you want to help us out on an extended basis, check out our partnerships link at the website. Join us if you're on YouTube via our memberships. And if you're on YouTube, you'll see products there as well. And of course, just visit any of our sponsors. We get a commission for any that happens. Right now, we're going to wrap it up for this Friday, December the 6th, 2024, here with things you might have heard. Coming up in about 5 minutes in your feed, you'll see a little extra conversation, one little quirky story to kind of mix things up a bit. Plus, birthdays are there as well. And this weekend, we'll have an edition of the weekly roundup. I'm almost positive we'll have an edition of the weekly roundup. We'll do our best to do that. This will be 12 stories that we produced for this past week that caught my attention that we think we need a little extra time to, and things that may have had some updates. The Daniel Penny story, when it's updated as well, the story on the CEO of United Health being killed, that's had many updates. And we'll probably update some other ones that are big as well, plus some that kind of sneak in there. I will do my best to not do the bar fume story in the wrap up. I'll do my best, but I'm just on to it. In the meantime, thank you so much for being with us. Whether you're watching me live this morning, a lot of folks on the X watching live, appreciate you with that one, and on YouTube as well. And we're actually on Facebook today. I'm sure everybody knows that because it keeps not working well. But today, we're on the Facebook. Thank you, Facebook, for allowing us to stream. More great stuff all day long. News stories every 50 minutes. So check them out on the feeds. Email us at the conversation inbox, gmail.com. Have a great weekend. More of this coming up Monday. Another edition, a live edition coming to you. The things you might not have heard for the weekend.